ओम है दुख का विनाशक, ओम सर्वानंद है। ओम है बल तेजधारी, ओम करुणा कंद है। ओम सबका पूज्य है, हम ओम का पूजन करें। ओम ही के जाप से हम शुद्ध अपना मन करें। ओम के गुरु मंत्र जपने से रहेगा शुद्ध मन। बुद्धि दिन प्रतिदिन बढ़ेगी, धर्म में होगी लगन। ओम के जप से हमारा ज्ञान बढ़ता जाएगा। अंत में ये ओम हमको मुक्ति तक पहुंचाएगा। अंत में ये ओम हमको मुक्ति तक पहुंचाएगा। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Respectable Dharmacharya Devswami, all the respected trustees, office bearers and executive members of Valley Temple, dear brothers, sisters and our bright future, our young children. On 23rd of this month, we shall be celebrating Deepavali, the festival of lights. I convey my heartiest greetings and best wishes to all of you and your family members, and pray to the Almighty for the well-being, happiness and prosperity. On this day, we also pay our humble tributes and solemn homage to one of the greatest sons of India, the visionary saint, great world teacher, seer of the modern age, and most reverenced founder of Arya Samaj, Maharishi Dev Dayanand Saraswati, whose 131st death anniversary we will be remembering, as he breathed his last. He sacrificed his life and breathed his last on 30th October 1883 at Ajmer in Rajasthan, India. The great Western scholar Max Muller, who was professor of modern chair in Oxford University, had commented that Swami Dayanand Saraswati has enriched the religion by his scientific approach to Vedas. Swamiji Maharaj had written commentaries of complete Yajurveda, that is 40 chapters, and part of Rig Veda up to 8th mandal, and he wrote Rig Veda the Bhashya Bhumika. The scholar Max Muller made up his mind and views because of reading through these commentaries. Earlier, the commentaries available in the market were from Yaskacharya and others, which didn't reflect true picture of the Vedas, and Max Muller used to say that Vedas are nothing but songs of the shepherds, laymen songs. Such was the contribution of Swami Dayananda Saraswati that there was recognition of Vedas to the extent that today the thinkers, philosophers, learned people of entire world, they agree that Rig Veda is the oldest religious book in the world, and its copies are preserved as World Heritage in United Nations Organization at New York. Because he studied with great gurus. His Guru Swami Veddanandi Maharaj at Mathura taught him for 2.5 years, from November 1860 to April 1863. Earlier he had studied Vedas, Saddarshan and other scriptures, but it is there in Mathura only that he had clarity of the in-depth study of Vedas. Second thing which Swamiji Maharaj denounced was idol worship. Every one of you knows the story. When he was 14-year-old, the family was worshipper of Shiva idol. They were sitting in the Devalaya of the village Tankara, and at midnight the mice started playing and jumping over the Lord Shiva's idol and nibbling the offerings made by the devotees. So this changed his mind that this idol cannot be the true or real Shiva, which we call omnipotent. It cannot save itself from these rats. How could he be the savior of the world? When he grew up, when Swamiji grew up, he naturally had inside knowledge, and he was deadly against idol worship. Today also, I would say, most of our learned people, learned scholars, and even educated Brahmins, priests, they are well aware of the absurdity of this idolatry. But because their prosperity, their fortune, family fortune is connected with it, they keep on promoting this idol worship. On this day, we remember those wise words of Yogi Aurobindo Ghosh, who said that if all the great personalities of the world are considered as mountain peaks, then Swami Dayananda Saraswati would be the highest peak amongst them. Such was the respect and regard given to Swamiji Maharaj because of his intelligence, because of his delivery, effective delivery, and eloquent speeches. This occasion, I would also like to bow my head in reverence to all those persons who gave us our Swami Dayananda Saraswati. In Shatpat Brahman, it is said, Matriman, Pitriman, Acharyaman Pushobhet. There are three teachers in the life of each individual who make him able inheriting pure sacraments, and he can sit in the culture society with raised heads. They are mother, father, and teachers. Mother is the first guru. Swamiji's mother, Amrit Bain, his father, Karsanji Tiwari, they gave him good sacraments, good knowledge of the scriptures. By the age of 14, Swami Dayananda Saraswati has learned complete Yajurveda, 1975 hymns by heart. And then comes the position of our teachers, our gurus, our acharyas. Swamiji left his house at the age of 21 in search of real spiritual guru, so that he could find out the real Shiva, real God, and also win over the death, because there were two deaths in the family. His younger sister Ratnaba died at the age of 14 due to cholera. Swamiji was 2 years elder to her. She was a very affectionate sister. The boy was surprised and stunned. Everybody was crying in the house, weeping. But he was mum, dumbstruck. 3 years later, his loving uncle, Mavji Tiwari, he also passed away due to cholera. These two deaths shook the child. He decided to search for the real way how to get salvation, how to be away from this birth and death cycle. So, for 15 long years, up to the age of 36, he went to so many yogis, saints, monks, of course studying from them, but didn't have satisfaction. He was taught Vedas by Swami Purnanand, by Swami Brahmanand. He embraced sannyas from Swami Purnanand, but actual peace, actual happiness he got in Mathura when he went to Swami Vivekananda Saraswati. In 2.5 years, he got clarity of the opinion. Whatever he had read, they were now vivid and very clear to him. And then he jumped out in the arena for spread of Vedic knowledge, spreading our message of Vedas. So we are grateful to his parents and all the gurus, particularly Swami Vivekananda, who gave us our Swami Dayananda Saraswati. One thing more here. When in November 1860 he went to Mathura, Swami Vivekananda agreed to teach him, to accept him as a pupil, as a disciple. But he didn't have any arrangement for the food and lodging. So he told Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Dayananda at that time, to make his own arrangement and only then come to him for studies. It was difficult for him. He belonged to a very rich family. His father was a rich man, prosperous man. He was a revenue officer in the then Morbi state of Kashiawar kingdom. He had left the home. Now he was sannyasi. He had embraced sannyas at the age of 24. For the last 12 years he was sannyasi. living life of sannyasa. But the householder present there who used to come to study from Swami Vivekananda, they agreed to make arrangement for the entire period of this study. And who they made arrangement? Durga Das Khatri agreed to supply oil required for writing. One Nanumal Ketamal agreed to supply milk for both the morning and evening time. And one Mr. Patharwale, he said, well, I can afford baked grams for Swami. But you see, with baked grams and only milk, such a strong, sturdy, tall sannyasi, it was difficult to live. Then, true to his name, came forward Amarlal Joshi, the householder. He said, well, I undertake to give meals both in the morning and at night to Swami Maharaj. I will feed him first, only then I will take care of him. So, we are grateful. We pay our reverence. We remember those sacred souls, pure souls, because it was because of them. And for lodging, nearby Lakshminarayan temple was sought, and they arranged one small room there. So we are indebted to those souls also. Swamiji Maharaj tried his best for the spread of education. He understood that Vedic education would be the only source for getting freedom from the Britishers. He said, you will be, as we are reading Siddhartha Prakash, in the second Samula, second chapter, he says, Mata Shatru Pita Vairi Yen Balu Na Patita Na Shobde Sabha Madhe Hans Madhe Bhagoyatha. The mother and father are adversaries or enemies of the children to whom they don't impart education. And such a person would be shunned by the cultured society as the cranes or storks are shunned in the company of the swans. So much so that I remember the saying of the statement of Roman Roland, a great Western thinker and educationist, who said that it was the rule number 8 of the Arya Samaj, that is, diffusing of knowledge and dissipation of the ignorance, that was the cause of spreading of education in India. So Arya Samaj, established by Swamiji Maharaj, had done a marvelous job, has been doing marvelous job. Swamiji was patriot, great patriot, and so much so that when India got freedom, the assessment was made how many people were languishing in jails, and 80% of those persons who were in jail were influenced by Swami Dayananda Saraswati or the Arya Samaj. He was ardent advocate of equal status to women. There was a very pitiable condition of the women folk in the country. There were child marriage, sati pratha. Once widowed, the ladies were burned on the pyre of their husband. No remarriage of widows, and education was almost nil for the ladies. And these Vedas, scriptures which we recite, we have so many now acharyas At that time, these peoples of poor disciple like even Shankaracharya, they used to say, if some lady or some Harijan, some scheduled caste, listen Veda's hymn, throw lead into their ears. Ears should be blocked. Such was the state of affairs in the country. So he was strongly in favor of education of ladies and then equal status to everyone, irrespective of gender, irrespective of caste, creed, race, religion, and religion. As was his name, true to his name, he was Dayananda. You will be surprised, as you all of you know, that when his book Jagannath gave him poison, he immediately guessed after taking milk and called Jagannath. Jagannath confessed having added poison in the milk. Then he said, well, you have done a very wrong thing. I was writing the commentaries of Vedas. You do not know what laws you are incurred to the society. But now you run away, take 500 rupees from me and run away to be out of reach. Otherwise, people will catch hold of you and they will punish you. He was so kind, the man who had given him poison. And poison was given on 29 September 1883 at Jodhpur. For 1 month, he struggled to have proper treatment. Swamiji never used to take medicine. He was yogi and he would vomit out even the poison. But this time the poison was very strong and ultimately he expired after 1 month on 30th October 1883 at Ajmer, where he was taken for further treatment. So he was so kind. He was so tolerant. In Farrukhabad, he was delivering discourses, speeches. He was staying at the bank of Ganges in one hut. Nearby there was another hut where some sadhu was living, and he would come to the Swamiji's hut and start abusing Swamiji. Ultimately, the people got up. They said, Swamiji, permit us to teach him a lesson or whisk him away. He said, no, let him do whatever he wants. Second day, he again came and he again started abusing. Third day, he did not come or he could not come. Incidentally, some businessmen had come to Swamiji from Farrukhabad town with plenty of fruit. Swamiji wrapped some fruit in a piece of cloth and sent to that sadhu, that monk. The person told him that Swami Dayananda has sent me to you with this fruit. He said, how is it possible? I daily rebuke him, I daily abuse him. It is not possible. Take it back. He came back, Swami said, again go take this fruit, this is meant for him. And tell him, Dayananda says, you will have sufficient energy. And again come forward with the same practice of, you don't leave your habit. Again come and start abusing. That's why he especially sent this fruit for you. He felt so ashamed. He came to Swamiji and fell in his feet. So he was such a tolerant person. When he started speaking against idolatry, idol worship, there used to be very powerful academic debates, shastras. And every time he won, his delivery was very effective. Then his opponent, they started abusing him, insulting him. They incited their followers to throw stones on Swamiji, to throw garbage on him. But he tolerated all these things. He knew it was there due to their ignorance. He was bent upon eradicating religious bigotry, ignorance, social inequalities, untouchability. He had promised to his Guru on the convocation day in April 1863 that he would devote his full life for this cause. And which he did till last breath. He was concerned about the grave situation in the country, the poverty, the ignorance, infighting, so many religions cropping up, people forgetting the Vedic Dharma. So we remember with full reverence, and on this day, whatever he wanted we should return to Vedas, follow the Vedas, follow the guidelines and instructions of Vedas. Sam Shutein Game Mahi. Let us, our behavior, our conduct, our deeds be conforming with Vedas. That will be true remembrance. That will be our true regard to Swami Maharaj. And he gave us one shloka. Vidya Vilas Manso Dhrit Shil Shiksha Satyavrata Rahit Man Mara Bhara संसार दुख दरलेन सुभूषिता ये धन्य नरा विहित कर्म प्रोपकारा. He says, mind it, this human birth is successful of those persons who are keen in attaining knowledge. Vidya Vilas Manso Dhrit, Dhairya, perseverance, tolerance, contentment, self-control. And she, who are polite, who are respectful, who are obedient. Here, from this very stage, you have a number of times heard Abhivadan Shilasya Nityam Tevedusho Uksevna Sattvarita Subhadhante Ayurveda Shobhanam. Automatically, the God bestows upon four things: long life, knowledge, strength, and name and fame. On those who are polite, who are always ready to serve their elders, take care of their elders. She, Satyavrata, truthfulness. Truthfulness in our thoughts, in our speech, in our deeds. Rahit Man Mara Bhara, devoid of egoistic approach, devoid of vanity, and devoid of impurities. Manusmriti also says, Advi Gatrani Shuddhanti, Mana Satyen Shuddhati, Vidya Tapobhyam Bhudatma, Buddhir Jnanen Shuddhati. Purity of body, mind, soul, and the intellect. That is must. Then, Sansar Dukh Dallen Subhushita, those who are bestowed, blessed with the quality of taking away pain and suffering of the people, like doctors. Number of times you must have heard people addressing doctor, Doctor आप तो भगवान हैं, you are God for me. You have removed, you have taken away my pains. And all those learned scholars, Maharshi, yogis, who take care of our pains, mental pains, and mental deficiencies, mental deformities. Then, Ved, Karma Purokara, Ved, conforming to Vedas, whatever the benevolent deeds which conform to Vedas, they are busy in those actions, in activities, their human birth is justified, their human birth is successful. So, let us, while remembering Swamiji on his 131st death anniversary, we rather call it Balidan Divas, because he sacrificed his life. There are rumors that his opponents in Jodhpur had together planned to eliminate him. And that's why, through courtesan, Nani Jan, she lured the cook Jagannath, and ultimately they were successful in adding poison in the milk. So he sacrificed his life. It was a martyrdom. I remember 6 years back, we were in Ajmer, because he established Provokari Sabha, Uttarathikani Sabha, the body to take over his works. 125th Balidan Divas was celebrated there. I also visited with 125 persons from my district Sonipur. So we went to Vinayak Kothi also, the room where he did Vedas. We went to the crematorium also. These are all places of pilgrimage for us. His village, Tankara, where he was born, and wherever he went, that gives us encouragement and strength. But our true reverence would be, we follow the instructions, the guidelines, the rules of Arya Samaj, and continue the work he has started, particularly spreading the knowledge of Vedas to each nook and corner of the world as a whole. Today there are so many institutions, so many Arya Samaj in the entire world. Arya Samaj, which was established by him on 10th April 1875, is doing now human service for the society. Let us keep that torch growing and spread the message. Let us be united. Let us always remember Sangachadvam, Samvadadvam, Samo Manasi Janatam, Deva Bhagam Yatha Purve, Sanjanana Upasate. प्रेम से मिलकर चलो, बोलो, सभी ज्ञानी बनो, पूर्वजों की भांति तुम कर्तव्य के मानी बनो. With this, I call upon all of you. It is my earnest appeal that we should remain united. We should always think that Arya Samaj works with raised head. We are devotedly attach to the cause and spread the message of Vedas throughout the world. Thank you very much.